What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about if the Fuji X-T3 is still relevant in 2021, and primarily we'll be talking about video. Now my answer to this question is yes, and here's why. The X-T3 release date was September 18th of 2018, and it was released with these specs. The X-T3 comes with a super sample image, which means it was actually shooting in 6K, but it would downscale the image down to 4K. It had 420 10-bit internally with 422 10-bit externally, 4K 60, 4K at 400 megabits per second, 120 frames per second in 1080 at 200 megabits per second. It also came with F-Log, it came with a Turner, and it has the exact same sensor as the X-T4, which is what I'm shooting on right now. Now at the time of the release, no other camera had these specs except for the GH5 by Panasonic and the GH5S. Now let's put this in perspective. Last year, Sony and Canon both finally released cameras that has 10-bit internally and externally. Before that, their cameras were only holding 8-bit codec. Besides the EOS-R, you was able to shoot 10-bit externally with a monitor. Now a lot of video shooters were happy when they finally got 10-bit within their full frame cameras, but they were treating it like it was a new technology. But really it wasn't. Like I said, that technology been out for 2 to 3 years prior before these cameras came out. They just chose to shoot with cameras that had 8-bit because they didn't want to leave a full frame camera behind for APS-C or Micro Four Thirds. Now when Canon released their R5, a lot of people was excited. They were out here saying that 120 frames per second was back. But in all honesty, you chose to shoot with a camera that couldn't perform or shoot at 120 frames per second. Now, a lot of shooters were getting excited about technology they already had access to, but they didn't want to leave Canon. They didn't want to leave the EOS-R, or they didn't want to switch from full frame cameras. Now the beauty of the X-T3 is it had this technology for 3 years already. Now a lot of people will overlook the X-T3 because it don't have a flip screen and it don't have IBIS. Now if those are the only reason you're overlooking this camera and you're not vlogging, then you're sadly mistaken. If you want a camera that has amazing image quality, that shoot 10-bit at 4K, that can compete with the newer cameras that have been released last year or now, then the X-T3 is the perfect choice. If you're not shooting yourself or vlogging, then you can actually rig this camera out and make it work for you when you're shooting somebody else. All you'll pretty much need is a cage and a monitor. That's all you need to make this camera work for you. Yes, I know about the X-T4, but I needed it because I wanted to vlog, and actually I needed a second camera. And I also bought the X-T4 because of IBIS, because I do shoot low light photography, and the IBIS does come in handy for that. You guys see my low light photography with the X-T3, and those photos came out amazing. But I did have to bump the ISO up to 6400 and then clean it up a little bit in post with noise reduction. But like I said, having IBIS do not make you a better photographer. All it does is really make your life easier and make your workflow a lot easier. That's pretty much it. Now the battery life in this camera is not the best, which is why I bought the battery grip, and this thing come in clutch. And it actually feels amazing in your hand when you hold it with the battery grip attached. Now like I said, the X-T3 does shoot 10-bit H.265, and that is a really beefy codec, and it will bog down your computer. But it's not just this camera. That's pretty much universal all across the board with all cameras. Like I said, if you're not looking to shoot yourself or vlog yourself, then the things you need to make this camera work will be a gimbal, a cage, and a monitor. And that's pretty much it. And you got your own cinema-like camera that you can go out and shoot video with, and you will get an amazing image quality. Now some YouTubers, they took the X-T3 and X-T4 and compared it to the Blackmagic 4K and 6K cameras. And honestly, you couldn't tell the difference. That's how good these cameras are. So if you feel like you're missing anything in this camera, then you're terribly mistaken. So thank you to everybody who checked out this video. Thank you to everybody who actually hung out with me. We have now hit 200 subscribers, and that is amazing. That is about 20% to my goal of 1,000 subscribers before I can give out 2 Viltrox lenses. Now my overall goal is to hit 10,000, but 1,000 will be a good start. But before you guys go, what I want you to do is smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new content. Hope you have a good day. Peace.